Ah! That's the biggest. All right, where were we? I had to talk to Beyonce real quick and confirm to her that yes, I'm making another video, and yes, it's going to be awesome as always. My name's Weston. Welcome back to the channel. How are you guys doing today? So today we got a little bit of time because we're waiting on some parts to come in for our Cummins swap, our 2010 F350. Waiting on an oil pan and some other things. So while we're waiting on that, I figured I'd get around to doing something I need to be doing, and that is our oh no, I gotta say this right. Belarus tractor. Look at that, guys. I know how to speak. I was calling it Belarus. I was calling it a Belarus the whole time in the last video. Anyway, like I said, we got a little bit of time here, and a lot of people's been asking for a follow-up on our old tractor. And for those of you that did not watch the last video, basically what our Belarus tractor is I bought it for scrap iron. It had been sitting for about 10 years. We got it fired up and the motor ran away. It means it wrapped out to full throttle as soon as it fired up. And it ended up that the injection pump was froze up. We got it broke loose and got that taken care of. And I didn't get around to doing anything else with it. We made it run, we made it shut off, we made it do all that, but we never got around to moving it. So I think that's what we're gonna try to do today. That was like 2 or 3 months ago when we started it, so it has been sitting for 2 or 3 months again. Let's get down to what this video is about. He told us that the hydraulic pump that runs the loader and everything was bad when I bought it. That's the reason he let it sit, and he was an old man, he could never find parts for it. And now with the invention of the internet, I think I can probably find a hydraulic pump for it fairly easy. But I want to get it running and see if the transmission's any good or any of that stuff works before I ever spend money on a hydraulic pump. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to take and just the fuel fittings on the fuel tank are broke, so we can't actually use a factory fuel tank. So we're going to throw a jerry can up on the fender and run a little electric pump, see if we can just make it move forwards and backwards, and we might pour some hydraulic oil in it and see if we can make the hydraulics work. I doubt they'll work, but who knows. I guess let's see if we can get it started back up. It's only been sitting a couple months. I got faith in it. And then it should fire up. I got a little bit of starting fluid, but I don't think we're going to need it. It seems like it's got good compression, and it's not that cold out today. It's like 80 degrees. It did kind of kill a little bit of the grass though, but that's just good. That means it's marking its territory and we don't got to worry about mowing here anymore. Actually, a fuel fitting broke on the bottom of the fuel tank when we was trying to drain the fuel, and all the fuel ran out. Most of it's in that 5-gallon bucket, but I think when it rained, it filled that 5-gallon bucket up and overflowed and ran out all over here. So let's get to putting some parts together, get the batteries thrown in it, get the fuel system hooked up, and let's see if this thing will move under its own power. Seems installed. And Mother Russia, you don't start tractor, tractor start you. I had to do at least one Russian joke. All right, so we got our little jerry-rig fuel system together. We got one battery in it. I don't know if that's gonna be enough, but it is a big battery. So we're gonna do our expertness and get our little pump hooked up. We got our throttle here. Has not been started in a couple months. Let's see how it goes. Oh my God, that was too easy. Did you see that? Like, I'm serious. It hasn't been started in 2 months. Well, thanks for sure. It still smokes. Well, that just means it's a good one. If it don't smoke, you know, how would you know if it's a good one or not?
What you're telling me is you can't afford one that don't smoke.
Yeah, but don't gotta make fun of me for it. I think let's put some water in it and let me get up there and see if I can make it move. Oh funny. Here's like earthquake! Everyone to a door frame! Oops! Well, that's the biggest damn spider I've ever seen. Holy cow, there was a spider in our radiator. Whew, that scared the shit out of me.
How big was he? Show us.
He was that big around.
Wow, how big?
He was that big around. And there's a dirt dauber in here too. You're worried about your radiator having stuff in it, don't worry about that. My fuel pump came unhooked. It moves! Can you even believe that? Like it room. I'm like, oh God, it's going someplace. I'm actually legitimately surprised that it actually moves. Look at that. That shows how long it's been sitting here. All right, so we ran into O'Reilly's and we got some stuff to make the electrical system a little bit better shape. So basically, we got a toggle switch so we can hook our fuel pump up to. Well, fuse, I know, how surprising, an actual fuse to hook it up to. Some little connectors. We're gonna come over here. And this is kind of our fuel system for right now. We want to kind of see what kind of shape the rest of this is in before we really worry about it a whole bunch. So we will get around to fixing this later, but this is just for temporary. Basically, it's going to need a new fuel tank. The one that's in it's cracked out on the bottom, and I'll have to either have it taken out or welded up or something. Anyway, all of our electrical on this tractor is pretty much junk. Like I say, it's been sitting 10 years and nothing really, I take that back. The tachometer on the dash works, the oil pressure gauge, and I think maybe the temperature gauge works. But I bought this tractor, the guy said that the hydraulic pump did not work, that the hydraulic pump was actually out of it. And then he said he couldn't find any parts for it because it's a Russian tractor, and you know, he was an old man, he couldn't figure it out. And the other thing I was looking at, and somebody on the last video told me this, was that there was a lever to disengage the hydraulic pump, which is right down the back of the bell housing. And I think I found it. I think it's this thing right here. So from what I've been reading is if this lever gets kicked out of gear and puts the hydraulic pump into neutral, none of the hydraulics or anything will work. Now the hydraulic tank is right there, it's missing its lid, but I'm going to try to put some hydraulic oil in it and see if we can take and make the hydraulics work. That would be awesome too, because if we can make the hydraulics work, we can lift up the front of the tractor with the bucket and take that tire off. And I guess let's do some electrical work, get our fuel pump in a little bit better working order, and then let's pour some hydraulic oil in this thing, see if we can make the loader work. You know, another awesome thing is when we're working on anything and we're, you know, away from the shop, I can just slide my old Montezuma triangle toolbox in the back end along with an air compressor, and I got pretty much every tool I need to work on anything I need to. Then I bring my little electrical kit with me, and I could fix a space shuttle in the middle of the Arctic Ocean if this F-150 would float. And old Vanilla, he wants to show up, and every time we're working on something, he's like, "Are you messing around my tractor again? What are you boys doing? You got cubes for me?" Yeah, everybody was saying, "Oh, look at the Charleus," but no, he is not a Charleus, he is a Belgian Blue. Aren't you, Vanilla? Yeah, we're real special with our names. Yeah, he's about the same color as vanilla ice cream. Yeah, that's what we'll call him. Vanilla, he is. All right, so our fuel pump came unhooked there just a second ago, and when we tried to fire it up, so it was kind of dying off. I did shut it off before it completely died, but that does mean we got air in our system. So I've got this switch hooked up for our fuel pump, which is just some wires run down to our pump, and then I got the other side of the switch hooked to the starter. So we can run the pump for a second, hit the starter, start it, and then flip it back over to the pump. I didn't have a push button. So we're gonna crack open our injector lines. It's just a 3/4 inch wrench or an 18 millimeter, one or the other. Oh. And hit our fuel pump until we get fuel coming out of them. Basically just trying to get the air out of the system. Where it was starting to start there, we know we got the air out. Gotta get the tire fixed so we can move it a little further. And if we can't make the hydraulics work, we'll probably just take that front end loader off.
Bob has made it to the scene of the crime. What's he doing here?
You know what? Bob might be mad at me. She's heard I've been talking with somebody else that's got a loader on her. Look at her, she's squealing for unhappiness. Now we're gonna ask her to lift that up so we can get that tire off. Oh, now she's pissed. She's like, what?
I don't think Bob's powerful enough.
What'd you say about Bob? So, as you might be able to tell, our tire has seen better days and the inner tube inside of it's got a hole in it, so there's no hope of getting that thing aired up. So what I'm trying to do now is call around and see if I can find a tire, which for 8 o'clock on a Saturday is not going to be real hopeful, but we'll see. Well, we're going to run over to our other farm, see. Well, I know we've got an old John Deere combine sitting down there, and I don't remember if it's got tires and wheels left on it or not, but if it does, it might have an R20 tire that we can put on this. Or that's a 20-inch tire, excuse me, 950 by 20. So it's kind of a rare size, kind of a foreign deal. Most all American tractors that I've ever been around have been 15, 16-inch tires, at least in the front. So let's run over there and see if we can find something. Let's go look, see what we can find. Dashing through the grass, looking for big old snakes. We're gonna go back here and find a John Deere. Well, see, this is what happens when your tractor breaks down or your combine breaks down. We just park it underneath the barn, then the barn falls down. Gosh dang, that's an old thresher. All right. Tires are gone. Kind of neat though. This is an old John Deere 95. I don't think it's got no motor or anything. It's been used for parts for a long time, but then the barn fell on it. There's a bunch of other old junk down there in the creek or in the holler. We're taking this tire off so we can take this thing to Wichita. It was hell trying to find a tire that would fit this. But I eventually called around enough. There's a guy in Wichita that's got one, so we're going to run up there and get this thing mounted and balanced. Not balanced. We're not going that fast. This Belarus ain't going to be moving that quick. We're just going to take this tire up there and get her back. One guy told me when I called about this tractor tire, he's like, you'd have better luck flying to Belarus and getting the tire yourself and bringing it back. I'm like, well, I don't really got that much time. He's like, well, that's what you're going to have to do. But I eventually got calling around enough. They didn't have this exact size. The one we're going to get is going to be a little bit smaller, but it really ain't going to matter. It's just this side's going to be a little bit lower than that side over there. She'll be a stubby girl. So guys, you're not going to believe it. We have got a tire.
We went to Belarus.
No. You know, they was really upset when I got off of the plane in their country, and they're like, it said Belarus. So we flew all the way to Belarus, got this tire, and you know, it was hell trying to get this through TSA. They thought I was going to rubber everyone. Anyway, this tire was terrible to find. We went to about 5 different tire shops in Wichita, finally found the tire, and then that tire shop didn't have a tube, so we had to run to about 3 other tire shops to find a tube. This is a really unusual size. This is actually a size for... It's actually really uncommon, and the only one I was going to be able to get besides for this 3-rib tire, we was lucky to find this one, was a tire that goes on a drill. And it would have looked kind of weird, so we was able to find this one. Now this is a 750 tire. This is the only tire I could find that would fit it, and it actually, the one that came off of it was an 875. So this tire is going to be smaller than the one that came off of it, but we're just going to have to live with it, and we're going to have to call this Belarus Stumpy or something, I guess. Stay. Thank the Lord for air compressors. Start. On. Flip that. Turn choke off and say yay. Excuse me. You know, I ought to be featured on NASCAR. I could be one of them you get that good old action there, it gives you some more impact strength. Hit her switch. That's too easy. So we got the tractor pulled down here in front of the garage, and the main reason we had to do that is because we needed power to run our shop vac because the hydraulic tank has a rat's nest in it. So we're gonna grab the shop vac, fire it up, try to get that rat's nest out of there as best as we can, fill it up with hydraulic oil, and see if we can make the hydraulics work. That's the plan anyway. All right, let's pour some hydraulic oil in this thing and see how. It was an old man, and he didn't know much about the tractor. He'd bought it brand new, and then the guy, the dealership that imported all these tractors, went out of business. So he had no way to get parts, had no way to get nothing for it, and he just said the hydraulics stopped working one day.
Oh shit.
And the drain plug's missing. So guys, I think this is where we're gonna end this video. We can't get the hydraulics to work quite yet on the old Belarus, and the reason for that is somebody took and drained the hydraulic tank, and I can't find the plug. And as you might know, if you got to fly to Belarus every time you need a part, it's going to take a little bit for it to get here. So I think I found one on the internet. It will be here eventually, just not here right now. So that being said, we got some parts coming in on the Cummins swap, the Fummins. Tomorrow, we're going to get started back on that. We've got some other builds I think you guys are going to be excited for. So hit that subscribe button, hit the like button if you like this video. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook. The links are down in the description. And you know what, guys? I'll see you tomorrow. Or whatever day the next video gets coming out.